Welcome to the Good Old Days of Radio show. This is John Tifteller, your host. It is Tuesday, our comedy show day, comedy or drama, and I guess it's comedy today because we're going to go back and draw from the efforts of the great Stan Freberg. We've played over the last year or so a total of 6 of his programs from his 1957 series, which lasted just, I think, 13 weeks or 15 weeks. And we are up to show number 7. So we'll get through all of them eventually, but I do want to get through all of them because the Stan Freberg Show is one of the greatest radio comedy shows ever, and it happens to be one of, I think, the last radio comedy show ever. There weren't too many, can't think of any that were on after 1957, so Stan got to wrap up radio comedy with a bang, and then it all went to television, downhill from there. So anyway. All right, from August 25th, 1957, Stan Freberg, Dawes Butler, June Foray, and the other cast of crazies, The Stan Freberg Show.
That was the outcome of the Floyd Patterson-Radmacher fight. Now, let me tell you what this is.
This is the 7th show of the series of a brand new radio series.
From Hollywood, we present the Stan Freberg Show.
With the music of Billy May.
Plus the songs of Peggy Taylor with Dawes Butler, June Foray, Peter Leach, and the Judd Conlon Rhythmaires.
You may not find us on your TV.
Because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you on RADI.
Hello? What is this bit of paper on the floor? Why, it's a newspaper clipping.
Oh, will you read it, Stan, so we can, get into the sketch?
All right, Dawes. It says here, Dr. Hugo Gunk of Cornell stated today at a press conference, and I quote, "If the government would spend as much money training psychiatrists as it does training law enforcement officers, crime would be eliminated in 50 years.
No, I find that pretty hard to believe. 52 years, maybe.
Yeah, well, anyhow, this gives one pause to wonder what it would do to the fearless six-gun-toting heroes of the radio serials. Would the U.S. Marshal become the U.S. analyst and trade in his gun for a couch? End of quotation. Gosh, Dawes, you think they could ever make the Lone Ranger a psychiatrist? Nah, it'd never work.
Out of the Mayo Clinic into the West with the speed of light and a cloud of dust and a psychoanalyst manual in his hand, the lone analyst rides again. Near the little town of New Rosie's, New Mexico, a masked man and an Indian press forward into the gathering twilight.
Hurry, pronto. Press forward into the gathering twilight. Got to get to Grandpa Snyder's if I'm going to straighten him out before he cracks up.
Kimos Lobby.
Faster, pronto. Faster.
Get him up, Scooter.
Gee, if it wasn't that we needed a switch on Get 'em Up Scout, you could have a horse instead of a scooter.
Constant hopping play havoc with soul of moccasin.
Whoops. A word of caution, pronto. You have a choice of 3 things to say. Get 'em up, Scooter, and Chemoslobby, you have no other lines.
How come you get all good lines?
Look, you want to be the big man? Sit up here in the white horse and wear the mask, is that it?
Okay. But what I do with Scooter?
Forget it. Will you forget it? Look, there's a stranger up ahead. I'll ask for directions. Whoa, big fellow. Whoa, big fellow. Whoa, big fellow. Big fellow. Whoa. Certainly is a big fellow. Howdy, stranger.
Howdy do. How comes it you're wearing a mask? Going to a party?
No,
'Cause I dearly love parties.
the reason I wear it is so no one will know me.
At the party, you mean?
No, there is no party. Can you direct me to Grandpa Snyder's?
Grandpa Snyder's?
That's the party.
I thought you said there weren't no party.
There isn't. Grandpa Snyder's. Which way?
Well, it's about 2 hoots and a holler down the road. I hope everybody gets paper hats and favors.
Hey, Slade, how about a little shot of old booze?
I don't mind if I do. Hey, Luke, how come they're serving drinks to that kid down to the end of the bar?
That ain't no young kid. That's old man Grisby. He's 104 years old.
104-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
Why, he's got a face like Bobby Breen. How can he do it?
Well, let's mosey up behind him quiet like. He's getting ready to order now.
Hey, bartender, give me another shot of that Adolph's meat tenderizer.
Whoa, big fellow. Whoa. Greetings, gentlemen. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the lone analyst.
Howdy, Alice.
Have straitjacket. We'll travel.
Going to the party, eh?
No, there is no party.
That's a mighty strange-looking saddle you got on your horse, Analyst.
Yes, it's the only saddle in these parts that opens up into a couch.
Gee, Analyst, that's quite a rig.
If you think this one's something, you should have seen the saddle a friend of mine had. He loved picnics, and his opened up into a redwood table and 2 benches.
It sounds like a real crazy saddle.
Sure does.
Sure was.
Got him up scooter, Kemoslavi.
What did you say that for, Redskin?
No reason. Just making small talk.
Can you direct me to Grandpa Snyder's?
Why, yeah, it's about 2 miles down. Hey, how come that big white horse cackles instead of whinnying?
He has a complex. He thinks he's a chicken.
Well, you're the lone analyst. Why don't you straighten him out?
I would, but I need the eggs. Pronto. Through analysis, perhaps we may help. Hold it. Too piercing. I say, through analysis, perhaps we can help Grandpa Snyder find the real him. Did you say something?
No, indigestion.
Pronto, look, up ahead. There's a shortcut. Come on, big fellow.
Get him up, Scooter.
Darn it. Some wise guy painted a shortcut on those rocks.
Look off yonder, Grandpa. It's a masked man on a bent horse and an Indian on a bent scooter.
Bent, huh?
Grandpa, have you been painting shortcuts on the rocks again?
Yeah, I'm just a frustrated old man.
Oh, big fellow. Howdy, folks. You must be Mrs. Snyder.
Speaking, and this is Grandpa.
Yes, he's the one I've come to see.
What for? To straighten me out?
Partly.
I thought you said there weren't no partly.
There weren't. I mean,
boy.
Steady, Leghorn. Steady.
Leghorn? That's a funny name for a horse.
Yes, well, he has a mental block. He thinks he's a chicken.
Oh, well, that's nothing. We got a chicken over there who thinks he's a horse.
Yes, well, I'm the lone analyst. I reckon as though it's my duty to straighten him out.
Well, I appreciate your offer, analyst, but we like the chicken to think he's a horse.
Why?
Because he's won the Kentucky Derby 3 years running, that's why.
Oh, I see him now. The chicken wearing the little saddle and reading his press clippings.
That's him.
Hold it. Where could he get a jockey small enough to ride him?
Oh, he knows a gopher who thinks he's Willie Shoemaker.
I'll accept that.
Now, analyst, about Grandpa. He thinks he's a Great Dane, and I can't tell him no different.
I see. How long have you been obsessed with this idea?
Ever since I was a pup.
Well, just lie down here on the couch, will you?
Oh, no, she don't like me to get up on the couch. I'm supposed to stay in my basket.
That's nonsense. You're no more a dog than I am.
Here, have a bone.
Thanks, I'll bury it later. Now, repeat after me. I am not a Great Dane.
I am not a Great Dane.
I am Grandpa Snyder.
I am Grandpa Schneider.
And once again, I am not a Great Dane. I am Grandpa Snyder.
I am not a Great Dane. I am Grandpa Schneider. Hey, Ma, I'm well. Oh, shuckins. He's gone, and I wanted to thank him.
Who was that masked man, anyhow?
Beats me, but I'm well.
You are?
Sure. Feel my nose.
So much for analysis. And now for another stirring moment, a very special guest. On our first show from the Basque region of France, you'll recall we presented Monsieur Marcel Toulet and his chorus of tuned sheep. At that time, Monsieur Toulet told us that his brother Francois played the nose flute. Mr. Francois Toulet is here with us tonight. Again, due to a language barrier, I've asked our good friend Monsieur Devereux, who's familiar with the Basque dialect, to interpret for us.
It is a great pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the nose flute is a bamboo tube. There's one hole into which the air is blown and two to let it out. Now, perhaps he will fill us in on how he plays it.
I ask him. L'on sait pas le temps en séparation technique, puis l'on conçoit nose flute, puis quoi. He say he plays it with his nose.
Fine. Well, let's get a little history of the instrument. So this is from the Basque region of France, eh?
L'on sait pas le Basque region of français, pourquoi c'est pour toi? He says he thinks you are off your rocker. He got it in Hawaii. What'd he say?
I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's Hawaiian.
He has switched languages.
Oh, fine.
Mr. Freberg, we are undone. I cannot understand him.
Billy May, you've done quite a lot of time in the islands. Do you know the language?
Sure, Daddy-o. Tahuya muya, puya kuya kuya, man. Ahuya kula ua.
Well, what did Monsieur Toulet say?
He says, like, man, the whole thing is bugging him, and if you'll knock off the quacking, which he digs the least, he will get on with the nose flute turkey.
What did he say?
Monsieur Toulet?
Mr. Billy May.
Oh, never mind. What's he going to play, Billy? Music from the islands?
I'll ask him. Ilue muya bula Honolulu scuba-doo.
Honolulu scuba-doo, yakahula Dixie-ula.
He says like he only makes Dixie.
Well, a Basque playing Dixieland on the Hawaiian nose flute should be a novelty. Hit it, boys.
monsieur, je n'ai pas l'erreur derrière les foie. Ouch!
What's the trouble?
Monsieur, catastrophe. He has his nose caught in the flute.
That's one of the hazards of the sport, and thanks for being with us. I wonder if the Blue Cross covers something like that. How'd you like the nose flute concert, Peggy? Pretty moving, wasn't
Oh,
it?
indeed it was. I've never heard anything like it.
No, you're not likely to. Peggy Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. And Stan, to get back to that nose flute, what happens if you have to sneeze in the middle of a number?
Now, you don't understand, Peggy. The training of the nasal flautist is more rigid than yoga. Their self-control is amazing. Yes. Now, I'd like to have you people know Peggy Taylor a little better. Peggy is going to do Dancing on the Ceiling.
He dances overhead on the ceiling near my bed in my sight through the night. I tried to hide in vain underneath my counterpane. There's my love up above. I whisper, go away, my lover. It's not fair, but I'm so grateful to discover he's still there. I love my ceiling more, since it is a dancing floor just for my love. I whisper, go away, my lover. It's not fair, but I'm so grateful to discover he's still there. I love my ceiling more, since it is a dancing floor just for my
Next May will mark the 89th anniversary of the driving of the Golden Spike that completed the first transcontinental railroad in the United States. It's a bit early to celebrate this event, but, better early than never. So our alert news staff brings you now a reenactment of the driving of the Golden Spike. On the program that takes you back to historical moments, There You Are.
This is Hal Whibley of There You Are. We're at Promontory Point, Utah, where the rails of the first transcontinental railroad will soon meet and be joined by a golden spike. They are now only 1 mile apart, and they are working like mad. While we are waiting for this historic meeting, we switch you to Chuck Grisby of There You Are.
Thank you. This is Chuck Grimsby. I am stationed near the point where the rails will meet at the Iron Horse Bar and Grill. Beside me is Mr. Patrick Hammerhead Grogan, the man who's been chosen to drive the Golden Spike. Mr. Grogan, will you tell us how you came to have the honor to be chosen as the man to drive the Golden Spike?
Well, you see, I was working on the track yesterday.
Yes?
And the fireman, he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, Grogan, you doing anything tomorrow?" And I says, no. So he says, the fireman says, "Okay, you drive the Golden Spike."
A remarkable story, Mr. Grogan. Now we switch you back to Hal Webley for a report on the progress of the track-laying crew at Promontory Point.
This is Hal Whibley at Promontory Point. The crews are now 3/4 of a mile apart and coming on fast. We switch you now to There You Are correspondent Rip Midgley.
This is Rip Midgley at Ogden, Utah. I'm in the cab of the engine that will proceed from here to meet the train from the west at Promontory Point, where the Golden Spike is driven. The fireman and engineer are getting ready to start the engine, so let's listen.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Engineer. Some coal?
Yes, please, Mr. Fireman. 2 lumps.
Cream?
No, thanks. I'll take it black.
Very well, sir.
We return you now to Hal Whibley at Promontory Point.
This is Hal Whibley at Promontory Point. The track-laying crews are now a half a mile apart and coming on fast. We switch you now to There You Are correspondent Speed Langley.
Yes, this is Speed Langley. I'm in a signal tower at Steve Canyon, Nevada. Beside me is the signalman who will clear the track for the eastbound train, which will meet the westbound train at Promontory Point. Sir, will you describe the procedure you will follow to clear the track for the eastbound train?
Well, sir, when I hear her coming down the line, I'll stick my head out the window, point my finger east, and holler, "Okay, Charlie, just follow them tracks."
Are you pleased about being assigned to this important job, sir?
I sure am. I waited in this gall dang tower nigh on to 5 years before there was any track going by at all.
And now we return you to Hal Whibley.
This is Hal Whibley. The track layers are coming into the home stretch. The east is ahead by half a length, and they're coming on fast. They're approaching the finish line. The west is gaining. The west is at the finish line. Now, wait a minute. The track layers from the east have stopped. They're still 2 feet short of the finish line. I'm trying to get close to the track layers to find out why the east stopped so suddenly. Here's the foreman coming this way. Oh, sir, would you mind telling me why the track layers from the east have stopped?
We're short by 2 foot.
Well, what can you do?
We could go back to Chicago and push a little.
That would be quite time-consuming.
Or I could slap in a 2-foot piece.
And your decision is?
Slap in a 2-foot piece, you fathead.
Thank you, sir. Here, folks, is an Indian chief approaching. Oh, Chief, will you tell our listeners what you think of the Iron Horse?
Iron Horse, bad medicine.
What do you consider good medicine?
Bufferin'.
Thank you, Chief. Oh, pardon me. I see they've gotten their track and they're ready to drive the Golden Spike. Yes, folks, this is the big moment we've been waiting for. Mr. Grogan is stepping into position. He is grasping the Golden Spike in his left hand. He is raising the hammer with his right hand. Now he is about to drive that Golden Spike. There it goes. Down comes the hammer and... Oh, he hit his thumb on the first try. Hey, now he's trying again. There he goes. He did it! He did it! The Golden Spike is driven, and now here comes the trains. One from the east and one from the west. They're speeding to the meeting point, the historical spot at Promontory Point where the east and west will meet. They're getting closer. They're about to meet. They met. I'd like to get President of the United States, Ulysses S. Grant, and get his reaction. Oh, Mr. President, would you say a few words about the meeting of the trains?
It would appear to me they should have laid 2 tracks.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Wow, man, I'll have to ask you not to shout like that.
Well,
It's like right in my ear, man.
Well, it goes with the song, you know.
Yeah, but don't holler in my ear, man.
Well, it's authentic calypso.
Yeah, but like why stand next to me,
Shout.
man?
Oh, well, the shout go with the bongo drums.
Well, not my bongo drums, man. I mean, move away like.
Well, I don't see why you can't,
No. Stand over next to the guitar, man.
He sent me over here.
Yeah. Well, then sing soft, man. You know, I mean, like, wow.
Okay.
Too loud, man. That's better.
Easy day, easy day, easy day, easy day, easy day, oh. Daylight come and me want go home.
Yeah, man.
I work all night and a drink of rum. Daylight come and me want go home. Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come and me want go home.
Lift 6
Oh,
foot,
hold it, man,
7
hold it, man,
foot,
hold it.
8 foot bunch.
Oh, it's too loud, man. It's too loud.
6 foot, 7
No,
foot,
hold it, man.
8
Hold it,
foot
hold it.
bunch.
Oh, my ears, like my ears. No, hold it, man. No, it's too shrill, man. It's too pierced.
Oh.
No, it's too piercing, man. It's too piercing.
Well, I gotta do the shout.
No, man, it's too piercing. Like I don't dig loud noises.
Well, you ruined the whole
Piercing.
record is what you do.
Yeah. Well, tough, I'll take my bongos and go, man, because the whole thing is like bugging me anyhow.
Yeah, but wait.
I'm
shout.
I'm cutting, man, like I didn't want to make this gig in the first place.
No, wait a minute. I'd be soft. I'd be soft.
Yeah, well, back off from me, man. It's too piercing.
Okay. How's this?
Too loud, man. Too loud, man. I can still hear you. Would you mind leaving the room?
Okay.
Crazy.
Daylight come and me want go home. Daylight come and me want go home. Hey, beautiful bunch of ripe bananas. Daylight come and me want go home. Hide the deadly black tarantula.
Daylight come
Man,
and me want
don't
go
sing
home.
about spiders. I mean, ooh, like I don't dig spiders.
He goes, hide the deadly black tarantula.
Daylight come and me want go home.
Is that it? Can I leave now?
No, not yet. We got a big finish. Hey,
Yeah, man.
I locked myself out.
Crazy.
I come through the window.
Daylight come and me want go home.
Wow.
Thank you. My thanks to Peter Lees for interrupting me in the Banana Boat song. So, till next week then, let's see. Next week we'll bring you the Lone Psychiatrist, Monsieur Toulet and his nose flute, the Banana Boat song. No, that's what we did tonight. That's right. I don't know what we're going to do next week. Oh, yeah, we're going to do St. George and the Dragonette and many other things, too. So until next week, this is Stan Freberg saying thanks for listening, God bless you, and good night.
The Stan Freberg Show is produced in Hollywood by Pete Barnum and is written by Stan Freberg, Pete Barnum, Dawes Butler, and Jack Rhodes. Featuring the music of Billy May, Judd Conlon for the Mayors, and the songs of Peggy Taylor with Dawes Butler, Peter Leeds, and June Foray. Bud Sewell speaking.
Okay, the Stan Freberg Show number 7 from August 25th, 1957. I kind of feel old listening to that for a number of reasons. I knew Stan Freberg. These recordings that you're listening to actually came from his personal masters of the show, which we copied years ago and still have them today in great sound, which is wonderful. A couple things about that. The Lone Psychiatrist was, of course, a satire on the very famous radio show The Lone Ranger. An interesting aside, very recently I was contacted by a man who had written a book on some aspect of The Lone Ranger and actually asked if he could come on this podcast and talk about his book and The Lone Ranger. And I said that was fine, except for one little thing, is I'm not a big fan of The Lone Ranger. I love Stan Freberg lampooning it here, but the original show I just don't find that good. And those of you who listen to this show know that what I try to do here is I try to present the very best in old-time radio, things that will hold up with a modern-day audience and things that you can play for a modern-day audience and they won't be bored or walk out of the room or fall asleep or whatever. And unfortunately, The Lone Ranger just doesn't do what I need it to do to be able to get it onto this program. It has canned music. For the most part, they were very poorly written. The acting isn't very good, and even though it was, as my producer referred to it, as the Star Wars of its day, which it probably was, loads of people are big, well, there are not many around now, but loads of people back then were big fans of the Lone Ranger, but just doesn't work for me. Anyway, when I explained to the gentleman that had written the book that I wasn't a particular fan of the show and would make no secret of that, but certainly give him ample time to talk about the program and we would play one, he bailed and said he didn't want to do the podcast anymore. So, okay, that means you're not going to get any Lone Rangers unless somebody else comes up with a book and we decide to do one. So, but we'll play satires of the Lone Ranger anytime, and Stan Freberg did a good one. The other one on there that was just wonderful and classic was Stan's lampooning of Harry Belafonte's famous song, the Banana Boat Song, or Deo. I'm glad that we're doing this show about a month after Mr. Belafonte died, so people don't get offended that we're lampooning him on the program here. But yeah, that was interesting. Some quick checking shows that Stan Freberg was a year older than Harry Belafonte, who just died at 96. So Stan Freberg would be 97. I'm 64, and I remember being around Stan Freberg a lot during the 70s and 80s, and he didn't seem old to me. He didn't act old. And now I'm thinking, wait, 96, 97 years old, oh my. Time flies, as they say. Okay, enough of this reminiscing stuff. This is the Good Old Days of Radio show. John Tefteller, your host. Tell your friends. Check out our Facebook page. Check out the website, www.goodolddaysofradio.com. You can listen to this show on all your favorite podcast devices. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on whatever, it's everywhere. Just find it and tell all your friends so more people can listen. Okay, we will be back next week, and I think next week we have a special guest. Is that correct? Yes. We have a special guest that will be joining us for the next 10 Tuesdays. If you can imagine that, 10 Tuesdays. But trust me, you're going to love it. He's really fun, really entertaining. You may find that he does one show in the voice of Bullwinkle and another show in the voice of Humphrey Bogart. I don't know what he's going to do, but he can certainly do all of that. And that'll be enough of a hint until next week when we will reveal who this brilliant master of voices is, because he's basically a master of voices and can do great impressions of all the great old people from old-time radio. He's a huge fan of old-time radio, And you will meet him on the Good Old Days of Radio show next week, and he will be with us for 10 Tuesdays in a row, presenting his favorite great old radio programs and bantering with me in whatever cartoon voice or movie voice he chooses to use. He may even use his regular voice. We'll see, but there's enough of a tease for that. And we'll be back on Thursday with some kind of weird and strange program for you, since that's what we do on Thursdays, is get weird and strange here. So until then, this is John Tefteller in the Good Old Days of Radio show saying goodbye.